This video is for teenagers. This video is also for parents that have teenagers. So teenagers are at a crucial stage of their development. The choices that they make around this stage will influence the rest of their life. The mindset will influence the rest of their life. And the way the world is going at the moment, the teenagers are now being hit with things that we never used to deal with as much. Anxiety, depression, the cases have gone up massively. Suicide. It's actually crazy to think how many people are taking their lives at such a young age. The world has changed. Social media has played a big influence on that. The media have played a big influence on that. The way that we're educated, we're seeking approval from others all the time. We're looking out to the external world for things to make us happy, the material things. The people that we idolize are living these worlds which is so far from reality, but yet we then strive for it. But if we focus on just some fundamental key teaching points and we brought awareness to these points, you'll start seeing that big changes will happen. There's so much that we're not aware of, but yet so many simple things that we can start implementing right away. And if we start zooming out and looking a few years ahead, even 10 years ahead, if you put a strategy and a plan in place, most people will go on to be successful. Because within that plan, you're going to learn along the whole way. And there's things that I wish now I knew back then. And this is why I love coaching now, because I get to be able to use my experiences, my regrets, to now help other people to actually make the right steps forward, to live a better and happier life, to be able to look after the family. So it has everyone's best interest, but I think fundamentally, if we are firing on all cylinders, we are happier. When we are happier, everyone around us is happier. And when we are happier, when people are in a bad place, in a low place, at least we can deal with it and help them as best as we can. So there's 5 key points that we need to bring awareness to. And if we just focus on these, in a few years' time, you'll see huge successes. So the first one is health, the most important thing in life. Without your health, we cannot operate. That's a fact. Health is approached really badly. Again, we're educated poorly. The food choices that we're exposed to is really poor. It's shocking, in fact. But we don't know what it's actually doing to our bodies, to our mind. And over a period of years, this eats away of us. And you start seeing the health conditions of people when they're getting older. They're deteriorating quicker. Cancer's 1 in 2 now. That's from imbalance. That's not just unlucky. That's the lifestyles that we're living. So let's look at health, because there is a lot more sedentary teenagers nowadays. The games alone, we're finding that our kids are spending hours and hours on end playing computer games, which fundamentally doesn't do anything to our growth. In fact, it conditions us to think a certain way with all the stereotypes from all the characters and the violence that the games actually have. So health is the first one. Exercise obviously comes straight to mind, but a lot of people don't like exercise. Sports. Play some sports, team sports, individual sports. It gets you in a state of flow. Whenever we are depressed and anxious, the one thing that we have to do is be in flow. When we're not thinking about it, we're in the moment, we're enjoying it. Your body then works in harmony. When we're stressed, the body is actually sending the blood and all the energy away from your vital organs to your limbs, as if you were to run. But exercise is just one, and I know a lot of people maybe not the biggest fan of it. So let's turn exercise into just activity, just moving, just going for a walk every day. And within that walk, you can combine other stuff into it so it doesn't feel like you're wasting time. But from an energy standpoint, you are literally nourishing the whole body. You're stimulating the brain. You're getting blood to the muscles and all the other key areas to your body. But it's so important. It's going to hold you in good stead in the future. But health also has other components, and they often get missed. Nutrition. Nutrition is so important. And again, growing up, I had no clue. Playing for football teams, eating McDonald's before the games. Oh, it's just a McDonald's. Over time, that will mess you up so much. Your body, the gut, has an important part to play for the rest of the body. So it's almost like we're not feeding the body, we're feeding the brain, which then helps the body function. So nutrition, start paying attention to the junk food that you're having. Let's start looking at the healthier foods, because it's not just about the food and the taste, it's what it does for the rest of your life. The way it looks after you. If you start looking at people that are ill in their 40s, we don't want that. A lot of that comes down to food. Health, we also can then look at other stuff. Sleep pattern around teenagers is, again, all over the place. Deadlines to be met with work, late night computer games, going out with friends. This is a normal part of growing up, I get that. But you have to be more ruthless on your sleep, more disciplined, and try to get into good habits of being consistent, at least when you go to sleep, or at least when you wake up. If you can get into good habits, we have a circadian rhythm, it's a body clock. So if it's all over the place, your body literally doesn't know where to start every time you wake up. So sleep also plays a big part. Nutrition feeds into the sleep, exercise feeds into the sleep. Next on the health is just quiet time. As kids, we don't get taught this. We got so many thoughts going on all the time. Everything's an experience. Everything is overwhelming. Yet then when we come home, our brain is still going, literally comparing to others, looking at feeds, liking on the social media. The most important thing we can do in life is have 10 minutes time out for yourself. No phone, no distractions, just you there. If you can close your eyes and focus on your breath as well, you'll get some magic that happens. Over time, you'll feel the benefits on many different levels. And if you start young, within a few years' time, you'll be flying. It's my one best advice is the meditation. It's changed my life. If you look at most successful people around the world, most happy people around the world, they will do some form of meditation. That could even be getting into flow again, going for runs, getting out on the bike, doing yoga. These are all forms of quieting the mind, and we need to do that to be able to get our insights and our thoughts, and also calm us down from all the other stuff that's being thrown at us all the time. So health is one. The second one, a big thing, is learning, self-development. It's weird, we go through school and we're told school's rubbish, and the things we learn in school, literally we don't tend to use in everyday life. School, for most people, feels like a waste of time. And as a teenager, I was there too. But let me tell you, if you start reading, it actually is exciting. It's mental, actually, how I used to think books were a waste of time, but yet you're hearing from the stories from people that have actually made it. You're hearing from the stories that have gone through depression, have gone through the worst case of experiences, and then they got through it. If you're looking to be a footballer, for example, professional footballer, go and read some stories from professional footballers. Go and read what it takes to be a footballer. Maybe not in that sport. Look at your mindset. Look at health. Look at other areas, discipline, confidence. Let's start learning all the traits that it needs to be a good footballer, so that you can then take that on and apply it to your life. So learning, again, at school, there's association, and when we leave school, we don't want to do that anymore. But I'm encouraging you, start paying attention. A good book for teenagers, the first one to read or even listen to, which is even better, is 50 Cent's book, Hustle Hard, Hustle Smart. He speaks directly to you, and it's so inspiring. But you'll see where he started on the streets, to the way that he's had to adapt to where he is now. Multi-millionaire. The investments he's made, not just in the rap game, music, producing, it's incredible. And again, if you want some motivation, go and read that book. Guarantee it'll change your mindset straight away. And it's a good place to start because you'll get excited. I can share loads and loads of books. And guys, now I'm reading books regularly every day. I've got 3 or 4 on the go. But I'm retaining the information because I now know how to use it in my own life. And not only that, when I'm using it, it's making a huge difference. I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot more successful. I'm doing what I love doing now, which is coaching. And all the information I've been learning over the last few years, I'm applying it every single day. So I'm encouraging you, learning will make your life more exciting. Learning will help you get out of the bad situations that will show itself, because you'll now know how to do with it, because there's many other people that have gone through it. But learning will also inspire you. It'll increase your creativity so you can start going on and making a huge difference in this world, but also making that life that you want come true. It becomes a reality. So learning is I'm going to say number one for me. Because when you learn about your health. When you learn about the other things that I'm going to be mentioning next. Next one, guys, finances. So savings. One thing that I did not do at all. For some reason, I must have read a book and it was like, there's no point having money in your bank. We need to be spending it, enjoying life, living the moment. And that stayed with me for ages. So every time I got money, there was kind of like a thermometer reading to say, this is how much you need to survive. And for some reason, every single month, even if I made a lot more, I'd still have the same amount at the end of the month. Because I was just spending all the extra cash. There was no plan, there was no savings. And when I get to my 30s, I'm still in the same place. My mates are buying houses, they've got loads of savings because they actually started early on. They were disciplined. And again, I've been reading everyone who's successful has saved. What saving does, first of all, adds discipline in. It also gives you confidence to start making more decisions because you've got that security behind you. Nothing's just last minute in the moment. There's always going to be emergencies that show themselves in your life. There's always going to be situations where you need some cash. So just having that store there will make things a lot easier. So saving, we can start straight away. You don't need to have a lot of money for it, but the key is discipline. So there's a guy called Jim Rohn, one of the best motivational speakers, passed away now. And one of the questions that he was always getting every time he went around the world was, what books do you recommend to read? And he said, I would say the same book every single time. But guess what? I reckon only 5% of people would ever go and buy it and read it. The rest of the people just hear it and forget about it. So one of his rules is whenever you're recommended to read a book, just take it down, save it. Because right now in your life, you might not need it. But I'm telling you that will be really important for you at a later time. So the reason why people mention it, just note it down. I've come back to books years after being recommended it. And I'm like, oh my God, amazing. So the book was called The Richest Man in Babylon. Very, very old book. Some of the language you can tell is from previous times, very well spoken. But there's a fundamental rule for saving. So he creates a pot called financial freedom. Every part of your savings, 10% should go in this pot. It's a pot that doesn't get touched. It's for the future. What he started doing eventually then is when he had then more savings, he'd have a spending pot. So 10% in savings does not get touched. 10% then goes into a savings pot, and you can start then paying and purchasing things that you want to. But you have the money to do that now. We're not living beyond our means, getting ourselves into debt, whacking it on the credit card, and then stressing because life is now catching up with us and we've got to pay all these things back, and we've got no hope or no confidence to do it. So 10% start. You make £25, £2.50, just whack it straight in there. Like, every little counts. But if you do that over years, you'll have thousands at the end of it. I promise you. So guys, when you're at school, when you're just going to college, when you're just starting university, start saving now. It will come back to save you. I'm telling you. But we don't do it. The next one is investing. Investing, we can look at it from a number of different parts. Investing financially. Never been told this. My parents didn't know this. A lot of people in my circles didn't know this until I came into London. My clients were doing it all the time. And again, that world and the numbers on the screen, I didn't have a clue. But if we start putting our money in now, as an example, a few years ago, we put some money into Bitcoin. Small amount, which was gone up ridiculous amounts. But that's the first real part of savings that I took advice and went for it. I've made investment opportunities before and I've lost money. But I think it's having faith to be able to put what you can to the side for savings, as long as it's not affecting anything else. What you can afford, put away. If we play out the long game, it will pay itself out eventually. When we're looking at investing, we need to listen to the people actually doing it, the experts within the field. But also to not get caught up on words. We need to actually do our research and due diligence to actually see, are these people genuine? Are these people actually making money? Or are they just giving you a good gain? If you get it right, you'll see that will pay off handsomely over the long run. And I've got loads of stories from clients that have done this. I'm now doing it. I'm now being more disciplined. But it's a big regret. I wish I did do it a lot sooner, because where I want to be right now would have become a lot more easier. The next one with the investing is investing in your health, investing in your education. And the investment comes with working with people that have been there, done that. We go through life, and a lot of time we listen to our parents, because the parents are the ones that brought us into this world, and we trust our parents. They love us, we love them. But there's a stage, there's only so much our parents know. There's other people in this world that are better at certain things. That's a given. So let's go and ask them, and let's go and find these people to help us move forward. So investing in your time, investing in your knowledge, investing in your dreams. And as you start going through life, you're going to start seeing things and discovering things that you love doing. You're going to realize that you're good at certain things. You can combine all that, and that can become your job. We don't have to get a job which we don't like. How many of our parents are going to work and they come home, shit day, really busy, really boring, can't stand people at work? That's the norm at the moment when we go to work. It's a drag. But work doesn't have to be a drag. Work and life can be the same thing. Again, I'm going to come back to me, but I'm doing coaching now. Every day I get to speak to people. Every day someone comes into the conversation one way and they leave buzzing, full of confidence, full of positivity. I get to do that constantly. It doesn't feel like work anymore. I'm having conversations. I'm going to get to travel around the world. I get to meet people all the time. And I'm having an influence on their change and their development. So find out people, mentors, coaches, teachers. Do your research. Invest in it. Coaches, personal trainers for your health. Invest in that. Sleep. Invest in a sleep coach. There's nothing wrong with it. You're going to make new connections. It's going to open up doors and opportunities, but you're going to learn and grow. And the last one is the appreciation. Appreciation for everything that's going on in your world. Being grateful for things that are happening. I was so unconscious as a teenager. Life literally just flashed by me. In my early 20s, I was drinking and partying quite a lot, and again, forget all my nights. And I used to tell myself I have a bad memory. And ever since I started getting into my self-development and gone down my little spiritual path and working on my health, it was the moment when I started appreciating and starting to be grateful for everything that's happened around me. Start taking notice of what other people are doing. Start being kinder to other people. And you'll find that more you do this and the more you appreciate others, appreciation will come back your way. The more you take the time out just to comment on someone's post, like genuine comment, not expecting anything back. Take the time to read through someone's article and share your feedback and share your insights from reading it. If you look at nature, you go out, respect the animals, respect the trees, respect the plants. I was a little brat kicking all of them when I was younger. But if you respect the universe, you'll see that it's got your back more than what you realise. Like, we're all in this together, and as woo-woo as that sounds, the more that you can make peace with people, think about the amount of positivity that will come your way, the lack of stress. If you guys have got hate all around you, you literally got to be looking left, right and centre just to go through the streets without any chaos coming your way. So appreciate the people that love you, appreciate the people that helped you, appreciate the strangers, but do it from a place of love and not expecting anything back. And again, your whole energy, your whole vibration will change. It will make more sense when you start getting older. But see if you can go each week. Reach out to someone that you haven't spoken to in a while and appreciate them. A genuine thank you. A genuine message to say, this is what you did for me at this time. Thank you. And it goes a long, long way. So I do a lot of coaching with parents. I have been working with some of their kids and their children. And I'm very confident with just a few months of training and a few months of sessions that they'll receive so many insights. They'll have a drive now to really take on life and to become super successful and happy. And working on the dreams that they want to do, so that when you're looking back, you can see that your children are loving life. Imagine how much easier it is when you're growing up, looking back, thinking, actually, I don't have to stress and worry about them. It's every parent's worry. Their kids, they come first. So if you know that they're sorted because they're in good hands and they're learning, they're growing and they're getting excited about things, that's only going to reflect back to you too. So if you'd like to know any more questions on this, please do reach out. It'd be great to have a deeper conversation, and I know it'll benefit a lot of people.